Awesome. So you guys have just figured out how to basically be an eternal god, which is awesome. I'm so excited. You've mastered all 6 fears and you've now figured out basically how to just have the best life ever. You're approaching the end here, which is very, very amazing, because now we're going to be able to bring it all together and tie it off with that bow we talked about earlier. This is where we start to fold it over. You start to get the ribbon in the right spot. Now we're looping it together. And let's just tie this knot. So with that said, we're going to get over to the computer and we're going to learn today about worry. Worry is a state of mind based upon fear. It works slowly but persistently. It is insidious and subtle. Remember, slow destruction is much, much worse than a fast demise. For instance, right, domino stock. I think I talked about this before. Domino stock had this massive, massive drop. Now let me tell you guys something. Stock markets, crypto, any kind of asset class, they don't like very, very fast price swings. And so if it's a massive drop, like this is in Domino's pizza stock, right? So DPZ. They went from like 250 to I think it was like 200, and I was like, "Whoa, buy!" Right? And then they went up and 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 up. Markets react from bottoms. Same thing happened a little bit more extreme with PG and E. This energy company in California, right? And they had this like natural gas explosion. And that's what California looks like. And this natural gas explosion started a wildfire and it burned an entire town and killed a bunch of people, and it was really, 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 really bad. And so the entire town like sued them since they killed everybody and burned their homes down. And it was like billions and billions, so much money awarded because they kind of like seriously messed up. And so basically the company is in the process as of recording this module. They're looking like they're gonna go bankrupt, but they're trying to do bankruptcy protection. But essentially what happened is the stock, it was high, I think it was at like 90 bucks. It had this huge drop after the energy crisis, and it actually entered what was really cool. It was a bearish flag pattern. If you guys remember this, in chapter 28 we look at flags where you have a huge downturn and then consolidation, and then you take the length of this downturn and you add it to the downturn, and that's your bottom price target. And what happened with PG&E, I mean, they perfectly hit this target that was set up by this flag setup that we talk about more in the book, but this is a basic concept. You have this consolidation here, and it continues down the length of the initial drop, and it goes to like, I think it was like 20 bucks, and it was insane, dude. So it was there for like 3 hours, and I was in the middle of school, and I was like freaking out. I was talking with my stock friends and they were freaking out. We were like, holy crap. And then the next day they bounce up like 25%, which is crazy. Look, here's the deal. Markets don't like extremes. They will react quickly. This single principle of worry and of fear at extremes is what makes Bollinger Bands so powerful. And also Bollinger %B, and these are concepts talked about in 9 to noon, but the point is that it's very extreme price, and also like VWAP bands, which are based on deviations away from the VWAP, which is in 9 to noon. All this stuff is in part 2 of the book, so just like, I mean, most of you guys probably have read 9 to noon. These are trading concepts that can make you a lot of money. The idea is at these extreme levels, there's gonna be a rebound, there's gonna be a breakaway because of worry. And so if you can eliminate worry and you can keep growing and keep coming to the success you need, it's gonna be a much better place to be in. And remember also the principle here of slow versus long-term change. A company like GE, if I have, I'll erase this and I'll just write it up here on the top. GE, they were a very cyclical stock, so they've gone up and down and up and down. This is like '08. This was the dot-com bubble. This was like 2000. This has been growing, and then today this is 2019-ish, and they just went to like what, $7, which was the freaking best buy I think I've seen on them. That's what I did anyway. And now they're going back up. This is a very dangerous move if you're holding this, because this is a very slow downturn. So you're not going to go down and up and down, and it's less volatile, right? And because of that, the overarching principles are going to shift a lot slower over the course of years rather than the course of like one day over here. So this idea, this trade right here was about 2 or 3 months. But with this, if you go down and you just let it keep going down and down and down, it's gonna take you like what? This is probably like 5 or 6 years to have this uptrend again. So that's why sustained fear and indecision that leads to worry is much more powerful than a quick burst of fear, because these quick bursts of fear, you can quickly bounce away from them. But with GE, they've had this sustained fear for a long time, coming up until today. And this quick burst of fear, here we're looking at 25% in a day and doubling your money on the high end. Here we're looking at about 10-15% over a very low risk period of time. With this trade on GE, it's, they're like what? They went to like 12, 11 bucks, $4 on a $7 trade, 40%. Everything here has high growth potential. Everything here has significant underlying psychological changes in perception of price, perception of value, perception of change based on worry. But with these longer term moves, it's going to keep going and going and going and going. It's a cyclical cycle. So you got to understand business cycles, you understand growth. I mean, it's not a complex thing. You look at the S&P and you'll get all this stuff. But it's the principle here that you need to be in a state of mind that's controlled and has a definite decision-making ability so that you can get in here at the bottom instead of buying at the top like most people. Instead of freaking out and selling and panicking as it goes down like most people. That's power. An unsettled mind is helpless. Indecision makes an unsettled mind. Most individuals lack the willpower to react and reach decisions promptly and to stand by them after they have been made, even during normal business conditions. This is the idea. You have to make quick decisions and stand by them. During periods of economic unrest, people are handicapped by not only their inherent tendency to be slow at reaching decisions, but also by the indecision of others around them who have created a state of mass indecision, right? Everyone's freaking out, panicking. You don't want to make decisions about purchasing things. It's going to screw everyone over. You look at really big companies in huge crashes, and the first thing they do is they, well, at least some of them, right? We talked about this earlier. They cut the people that are actually bringing money into the company because they're in this state of mind where it's fear-based, right? And if there's mass indecision and no one's buying, it gives them this fear that like they're worried. No one's gonna buy. Oh my gosh, we need to size down and stop creating revenue. It leads to a self-fulfilling prophecy where the entire economy slows down because people are spending less and you have deflation. Terrible state to be in. It all stems from individual fears combining to a mass state of worry. When the 6 basic fears become translated into a state of worry through indecision, that's when you're in trouble. That's when this power will emerge. You must relieve yourself forever of all the fears we talked about, such as the fear of death, right? You must reach a decision to accept death as an inescapable event. Make a definite death date for yourself. You gotta whip the fear of poverty by reaching a definite decision to get along with whatever wealth you accumulate without worry. You have to be okay with living in that minimum viable scenario. Seriously, a great way to do this, and Tim talks about it in Tools of Titan, is this idea that if you can live off of like $10 for a week and like being, or not even that, right? If you can live in the worst possible situation, wear the same shirt every day for a week and just live off grocery, how bad would that be? How much would that impact your life? And if you can make it through that, then how much are you really able to risk in your business? If you're able to live on bare bottom, rock bottom, wouldn't that alleviate some of that fear of poverty? Because it's not that bad once you go through it. And if you try this experiment out, just live on as little as possible for 1 week and understand that like rice and beans, t-shirt, it's not like you're dying in Haiti. It's not the end of the world. And it alleviates some of this fear because you come face to face with it. And as soon as you come face to face with it, the worry disappears. You can get rid of worry and accumulate whatever wealth you want. Put your foot on the neck of the fear of criticism by reaching a decision not to worry about what other people think, do, or say. You just can't care. It's all about you. It's this individual ability and quotient to succeed and grow. Eliminate the fear of old age by accepting it as a blessing, which carries with it wisdom, self-control, understanding, not known to youth. These are powerful character traits that all come through time. Acquit yourself with the fear of ill health by reaching a decision to forget symptoms. If you can forget, guys, remember this, right? If you forget something, forgetting equals no attention, equals no energy. If no energy flows to something, it dies. If a plant doesn't get water, it dies. It doesn't get sunlight energy, it dies. You want to starve your fears and worries of food so that they shrivel up and die. Moreover, you can master the fear of loss of love by reaching a decision to get along without love if it's necessary, and focusing on the powerful thoughts and history of it, and then understanding that you can go and grow and get along if needed. Kill the habit of worry in all its forms by reaching a general blanket decision that nothing in life, nothing, is worth the price of worry. Once you make this connection, everything changes. With this decision, will come poise, peace of mind, and calmness of thought. And all of this, and the reason that you want to get rid of all this fear and go through this system of practices, is so that you get to a state of eternal happiness. A person whose mind is filled with fear not only destroys their own chances of intelligent action, but also transmits their destructive vibrations to the minds of all the other people. This is why people that are really mean to other people. The idea that they're trying to drag you down. Even a dog or a horse knows when its master lacks courage, and moreover, a dog or a horse will pick up on vibrations of fear thrown off by its master and behave accordingly. It's this idea that your thoughts, when emotionalized with fear, will elevate out of your head and into the ether and be transmitted to others, and they'll understand exactly what you expect of them and therefore fulfill that desire. It's an auto-fulfilling process, right? It's self-suggestion. If you believe, will turn into a reality. And so you want to have positive thoughts and long-term goals and transmute those into their physical equivalent using the secret formula. Find this thing, you pick up vibrations lower down the line of intelligence, the animal kingdom. Get this one I always noticed as a kid, but I never understood it until I read this book and understood the power of vibrations of thought. If you are just like in kindergarten and there's kids everywhere, and then all of a sudden there's this like bees everywhere, and there's like, a couple bees. A honeybee immediately senses fear in the mind of a person, and for reasons unknown, a bee will sting the person whose mind is releasing the most vibrations of fear more readily than it will try to molest the person whose mind registers no fear. What's that mean? It means if you freak out, you're more likely to actually fulfill your fear of the terrible consequence, here being stung by a bee, more readily than people without fear. And if you're surrounded by just terrible situations, the best and most effective way to alleviate yourself of the pain from any given situation is to stop worrying about it. This is why meditation is so huge, because with meditation, you master the ability to disconnect from emotions, to disconnect from your thought, and connect exclusively with the infinite intelligence, and take a step back, looking at like a 10,000 foot view of the world around. So you're no longer connected to this worry. You're no longer connected to what's actually happening. And you say, look, it'll work out. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Chill out. And if you can disconnect that fear from the rest of your body and have total and complete conviction that everything will go okay, everything is going to work out, don't freaking sweat it. Not a big deal. That's the person who succeeds. That's the person who attracts magnetically the success and wealth that they desire in life. The vibrations of fear, just like the vibrations of positivity, vibrate and pass from one mind to another as quickly and surely as the sound of the human voice passes from the broadcasting station to the receiving station, and by the same medium. Sound travels through the air just like thoughts. Confidence travels from person to person just like a mastermind does. It's all based on the ether. Mental telepathy is a reality. Thoughts pass from one mind to another voluntarily, whether or not this fact is recognized by either the person realizing the thought, or the releasing the thought, or picking up the thought. We talked about this earlier, right? The card thing. The guy would look at a card, and whether he knew it or not, the person that was 1,000 miles away, who was supposed to realize, hey, what kind of card this is, even if he was really far away, the person that looked at the card unknowingly at the time would say in his mind, this is a card that's face up or face down. And unknowingly, he would transmit these vibrations into the ether, and it would connect to this person because they were at a higher peak state of energy. The same thing happens with animals, same thing happens in groups, same thing happens throughout all of life. The person who gives expression by word of mouth to negative or destructive thoughts is practically certain to experience the results of those words in the form of a destructive kickback. It's like bad karma. If you say bad things, that's where bad karma comes from. It's the principle of auto-fulfillment. The response of destructive thought impulses alone, without the aid of words, also produces a kickback in more ways than one. Perhaps most important to be remembered is that if you release your thoughts of destructive nature, you're going to suffer the most damage by breaking down the faculty of the creative imagination. The presence in the mind of any destructive emotion develops a negative personality that repels people and converts them into antagonists. Anyone that enters or releases these negative thoughts, these impulsive, not damaging others, they're embedding themselves in the subconscious mind of the person who releases them, and they become a part of their character. This is so powerful. I will not write down any of this because I'm not going to focus on negativity. There's not a chance I'm going to bullet point out what I just said, because I don't want to focus on negativity. This is page 275 if you want to read it again. It's at the bottom. It's a big paragraph. The idea here is that these negative emotions and these negative thoughts will become a part of you. If you insult people, you say, oh, I can't believe that. Oh, it's bad. Oh, he shouldn't deserve that. You're destroying yourself. You're fundamentally lowering the energy level of your subconscious and therefore decreasing the effectiveness of your infinite intelligence and increasing the likelihood that it produces a negative plan for you. Terrible. The instant that you release a negative thought, it embeds itself into your mind forever. So think about that, and you understand that that's bad, and you know that one is never through with a thought merely by releasing it. And you know that the presence of a destructive thought in its mind just alone is bad. Spoken is 100 times worse because it damages the creative imagination and it breaks down your emotional personality to repel other people from you. Okay, you guys understand that? Thoughts, we talked about this earlier, thoughts spread in every direction, every part of the ether. So anything you think will go across the world and plant itself permanently in the subconscious mind. But look, this isn't all bad news. This isn't all bad, okay? You can use this to your advantage. You can use this to create success. All you have to do is permeate positive thoughts. All you have to do is have a positive mentality. Continue this growth mindset. Have happiness in your life, have confidence, have growth, have these goals that fulfill you. As soon as you can find fulfillment, you can find happiness. You can use the same principle to spread out happiness and spread out joy. Always be smiling, always be the light of the party. You're going to spread to other people. You're going to make them happy. You're going to grow as a group. You're going to grow as a mastermind because everybody's better off with one another. And then you'll attract people into your life. You'll turn your subconscious, you'll tune it up to a higher level of energy and better allow yourself to transfer emotions and emotionalized thought from the subconscious to the conscious mind, since you're empowering the creative intelligence to give you those impulses of thought, to give you that growth, to give you that success. It all stems from this internal ability to increase your energy and increase your happiness, increase your positivity, and all of a sudden it's going to fundamentally shift every single aspect of your emotion because you're embedding positivity into your mind. It's like SpongeBob, right? SpongeBob is always ridiculously happy. And what does that do? It makes people freaking love him. It makes his life a joyous place to be. And he has fulfillment and growth in everything he does. Versus Squidward, right? Two people, same place. Squidward's got this dark, black, house. It looks like this massive tiki guy, right? And that was a really good drawing. And he's got this nose, and he's like this house, and then he's like this blue guy, and he is like, I am Squidward, I have tentacle arms, and I am sad, grr. But then you have SpongeBob, right? And he surrounds himself with positivity. He surrounds himself with this growth mindset. He surrounds himself with an idea that he is a happy guy. He's the best day ever. You guys have heard the song, right? Best day ever. Is that a song that's going to be sung by Squidward? Or is that a song that's going to be sung by SpongeBob? It's not even a question, right? Of course it's SpongeBob. Why is it SpongeBob? SpongeBob's happy. SpongeBob is joy. And that translates into his life. That translates into his career. He's more fulfilled at his job. He attracts more people into his personal life. He has better happiness than Squidward, who pisses off customers. SpongeBob makes him happy. SpongeBob grows with it. SpongeBob solves problems with them. Squidward has particularly few friends. SpongeBob knows everybody. SpongeBob has total and complete fulfillment with his pet. And they grow and they grow and they grow. And he has a total, insanely happy friendship with people, you know, like Patrick, right? How does he do that? Well, I don't know, that kind of looks like, I guess his rock was like brownish, so whatever. But Squidward has like no strong, solid foundational relationships in his life. Remember this idea, oh my gosh, I'm gonna draw Patrick. I've like never drawn Patrick before in my life. See, like if you guys are watching this in the future and SpongeBob's not a thing, like I would be so sad. Because Squidward has no positive relationships in his life, no sex transmutation, very low energy states, and total negative energy, he's always sad. He never has fulfillment. He never has growth. He never has purpose. Who do you think lives a better life? Now, obviously, it's a kid's show, so I guess SpongeBob doesn't have a wife, which is a shame. But, like, this guy's super pumped, super crazy, super high energy. And this high energy translates into every aspect of his life and all his adventures because he's awesome and he's happy and he's growing with his friends, right? He transmutes positive energy, and if you turn on your magnet, they'll come to you. And that's the power. That's the growth mindset. That's the success. Your business in life is presumably to achieve success. To be successful, you must find peace of mind, acquire the material needs of life, and above all, attain happiness. All of these evidences of success begin in the form of thought impulses. You may control your own mind. You have the power to feed it whatever thought impulses you choose. With this privilege goes the responsibility of using it constructively. You are the master of your own earthly destiny, just as surely as you have the power to control your own thought. You may influence, direct, and eventually control your own environment, making your life whatever you want it to be. On the other hand, you may neglect to exercise this privilege that is yours, to make your life the order, thus casting yourself on the broad sea of circumstance where you'll be tossed hither and yon like a chip on the waves of the ocean. Ask yourself, do you want to be the person that's going day to day with no purpose and no growth and no happiness and no success? Do you want to be the person with nothing going for you and no overarching long-term goals, no fulfillment of the secret formula? Or do you want to be that person that is so ridiculously happy, fulfilled, successful, full of positivity that you get your own freaking TV show? That's the power. That's the difference. That's the change. It can fundamentally shift every aspect of what you do and what you have. Please, guys, apply this. Take advantage of it. What you have in front of you is the secret formula to success for the largest and most powerful people on this planet. And it all stems from this one simple concept we just explained through SpongeBob. Okay? Does that make sense? Hope you guys got a ton of value from this. Go out there, absolutely crush it. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. And I'll see you in the next module. Thank you so much. Bye.